So very good afternoon. Welcome back to our EV channel. So today we are going to discuss about the social and environmental importance of electric vehicle. So just trying to understand, electric vehicles are also called as EVs, or sometimes they are also called as, it is an hybridization with electric vehicle and IC engine. They are also called as hybrid electric vehicle. Whatever the topics we study under electric vehicle are also the same topics under battery electric vehicle, are also same topics under hybrid electric vehicle. Okay, so the electric vehicle is added with an IC engine, then it is called as hybrid electric vehicle. So now let's try to see the overall view. First one is social and environmental importance. In the exam you will ask, describe about in brief about the social and environmental importance of an electric vehicle. Why an electric vehicle is really required in the current trending in 2024, or what is the need of electric vehicle. So social means, I think we are living in a society, whether really the society requires electric vehicle or not. So what are the reasons really an society require an electric vehicle. And environmental importance, if you use electric vehicle, already we told electric vehicle is an ZEV. ZEV means zero emissive vehicle. It doesn't pollute any pollutants. How it is not polluting, and how all these pollutants are not there if you use an electric vehicle. So that's called as social importance of electric vehicle as well as environmental importance of an electric vehicle. So after this topic, you will be clear that what are the pollutants released from IC engine and how these electric vehicles are really useful to the society or to the public. Society is nothing but what? Social. Okay, let's try to understand all the pollutants one by one. First pollutant is air pollution. Sir, how this air pollution is going to occur? So actually in an IC engine, we are going to combustion, we are going to burn. So combustion means burning. What we are going to burn? What is there in an internal combustion engine? Petrol is there, as well as diesel is there, as well as compressed natural gas. What is compressed natural gas? Is nothing but gas what you get from the underground. Okay, all this will burn, will give an output. The first output is nothing but heat energy. Which energy? Heat energy. We make use of this heat energy, and we will try to rotate our shaft, or we will try to rotate our rotor. Automatically by using that rotor, torque will be available to the engine. Okay, so the torque will the shaft will try to rotate, and automatically the shaft is connected to our wheels starts rotating. So our target is achieved. So how this mechanical power is equal to torque into angular velocity. Okay, so the engine will produce torque with an angular speed. Automatically what is produced? The power is produced. It's nothing but shaft power is produced by our electric vehicles or by our IC engine. So IC engine is doing its work and producing a mechanical output with the required amount of torque. It's okay. It's very clear now. But with respect to this combustion of this petrol, diesel and CNG, it is giving some byproducts. What are those byproducts? It is giving carbon dioxide, and it is giving water, and it is giving nitrogen oxide, nitrogen dioxide, and this is called nitric oxide. Okay, N2O, and it produces dangerous carbon monoxide, and it produces unburned hydrocarbons. So hydrocarbons means which consists of hydrogen and carbons. Okay, HNO3. So it consists of all these hydrocarbons will give a life for generation of nitric acid or HNO3, which will create a source of sulfuric acid. So that's why we get acid rains. Okay, we have acid rains. All these forest green plants will damage. Okay, so that's why we should not the growth of IC engine. Okay, let's try to understand all these pollutants step by step. Okay, so first pollutant is carbon dioxide is released by our IC engine. So when the carbon dioxide is released, our green plants will absorb this carbon dioxide by a process called photosynthesis. That's why you have to grow trees when you are nearby. Then automatically they will try to capture this carbon dioxide. Water is there is no issue. You have a lot amount of moisture, automatically you feel more comfortable. So the issue is solved by planting more trees. Plant more trees. That's why government encourages us to plant more trees. We can reduce the availability of carbon dioxide, and we can increase the availability of oxygen, where we feel more comfortable. So first problem is solved. Now coming to the nitrogen oxide. So how when nitrogen oxide is developed? Okay, so in the air, when we burn this petrol and diesel, what is produced? Nitrogen is produced, and this undergoes oxidization. Automatically nitrogen is there and oxygen is nothing but it undergoes oxygen or oxidization. Automatically it will give a byproduct where this is called NO, where N is called nitrogen, O is called oxide. If 2 is there, what will write down? Nitrogen dioxide. That we'll discuss later. Okay, so first byproduct is giving is N2 is given, where this is called as a nitrogen. It undergoes oxidization to give a byproduct of nitrogen oxide. So you can do this chemical balancing. So nitrogen is of how many molecules? 2 molecules. Oxygen is of how many molecules? 2 molecules. So if you put down 2, automatically it is an balance. If you balance or if you don't balance, it's meaningless. Just for chemical engineering, we are trying to balance this equation. Now first byproduct available is nothing but nitrogen oxide. Sir, how I can see this nitrogen oxide that is produced? You can see an black smoke is coming from your bike. So if the bike is used more than 50,000 kilometers or for a longer duration of 5 to 10 years, it produces a black smoke. Then you can understand that IC engine is giving an dangerous nitrogen oxide. And nitrogen oxide, the more little bit chances for the development of nitrogen oxide is inside the engine. You have high temperature, as well as the engine we are going to compress with the petrol and diesel. What you are going to do? We are going to compress. When you compress it, automatically this will lead for the production of a large amount of nitrogen dioxide, the nitrogen oxide. Okay, that's how nitrogen oxide will be released due to the engine mechanics, as well as it will come out from the tailpipe in the form of an black smoke. So whenever you see that IC engine, white smoke and black smokes will come. Indirectly indicates that those vehicles are very dangerous to us. Okay, next one, we are having nitrogen oxide, NO plus O2. Once again it undergoes what? Oxidization. So now we see here, so NO plus O2 gives rise to NO2. What is meant by N? Nitrogen. O2 is called, how many oxides are there? 2 are there, therefore it is called nitrogen dioxide. So oxides are how many are there? 2. That's why it is called nitrogen dioxide. Now let's try to balance this here. So you can see here, how many nitrogen atoms are there? Only 1. But oxygen are how many are there? 3 are there. So I am trying to write down 2 here. Therefore how many nitrogen will become? 2 nitrogen. So 2 nitrogen is there, I will write down the 2 here. So now how many nitrogens are there? 2 nitrogens at left hand side. At right hand side also you have how many nitrogen? 2 nitrogen. So oxygen, O2 plus O2, how many? Oxygen atoms are how many? 4 are there. This side also 2 into 2, 4. I think the equation is balanced. That's how from nitrogen oxide undergoes oxidization to give nitrogen dioxide. Now resultantly what you got from the IC engine? Nitrogen oxide as well as nitrogen dioxide. Let's try to see what are those problems, what is going to incorporate. Now this nitrogen dioxide, when you have this what we can call some moisture, or in some winter season it has some moisture, so this will try to react with the water, it undergoes oxidization. So don't think oxidization is something else. So if you keep any object in the air, automatically the iron, steel or something will try to undergoes oxidization, it will create rust. You don't need to perform separate oxidization. Are you able to understand? If you keep anything in the moisture, automatically it undergoes, reacts with oxygen, the properties are going to be degraded. That is called oxidization. Okay, so that's how this nitrogen dioxide once again meet with the moisture which is available. So now it will try to develop a component which is called HNO3. What is the bicomponent? HNO3. What is meant by HNO3? So N is there, that's why it is called nitric acid, and this nitric acid will be coming to the earth in the form of an acid rains, and due to this acid rain all the forest will become deforestation. I mean all the trees will die if you have acid rains. Okay, so now try to balance, and you are going to get one more byproduct which is nothing but NO. So try to see the balancing, how to do the balancing. See here how many hydrogens are there? So here we have 2 hydrogen, so that's why I'm putting 2 here. Okay, now here how many hydrogens are there? 2 hydrogens are there, and how many nitrogens are there? So nitrogens is of 2, and here 1 nitrogen is there. 2 plus 1, 3. So here I am going to put how much? 3. So you can see the balancing now. So here total amount of nitrogen molecules are how many? 3. Here also how many? 3. I think it is balanced now. Okay, oxygen 3 into 2, 6. Oxygen of how many molecules? 6 plus 1, how many? 7. Coming to this side, oxygen is how many are there? 3 into 2, 6. 6 plus 1, 7. So coming to a nitrogen is balanced, oxygen is balanced. Coming to the hydrogen, hydrogen is of 2 and automatic hydrogen is also 2. I think you can say that now this equation is perfectly balanced. Okay, and now this nitric acid, when you get some sort of rain, this will combine with the rain and it will reach to the earth in the form of an acid rain. When you have acid rain in location, you can say that completely the trees will die out. And you can see that we have valuable like Taj Mahal, the glory. I mean, when you have the marble with acid rain, automatically it will decompose. Okay, so that's why this acid rain should not be there. You can see that in Delhi we have a lot of pollution, and you can see the glory of that Taj Mahal is degrading. Why? Due to effect of what? Acid rain. All these are majorly produced in Delhi. That's why they have an odd sequence. So Monday, Wednesday and Friday they will take only odd numbers. The remaining days they have to take only even numbers. So when you have your vehicle number with the last number as 1, then you have to operate it only on Monday, or on Wednesday, or on Friday. If you have last vehicle number as 2, 4, 6, 8 even numbers, then you have to operate in Tuesday, Thursday and Saturdays. Sunday you should not take any vehicle, you should use public transportation, EVs. Okay, that's how they are able to arrest this. Why they are arresting means they have lot of development of what? Nitrogen oxide, nitrogen dioxide and acid rain. Okay, all these are going to create cancer. Now this is one part of nitrogen molecules. What are those bicomponents? Nitrogen oxide, nitrogen dioxide and nitric acid, HNO3s are the byproducts. Next one, coming to the next byproduct, carbon monoxide. Sir, why a carbon monoxide is released from an IC engine? Okay, so coming to the basics, whenever you incompletely burn an hydrocarbon, what is hydrocarbon? Petrol or diesel. So what we are going to do? We are going to take some 100 ml or some 10 ml of petrol and diesel, and we are going to compress it. What we are going to do? We are going to compress it, and we are going to apply some sort of ignition. Automatic, what will happen? It will fire. Whenever it is firing, what is going to develop? Some energy. That energy is converted into mechanical. But when you compress this, if the oxygen you are not unable to supply in a proper ratio, it will not burn in 100%. I can say clearly, if it is a new IC engine, there is no concept of carbon monoxide. Why? Because the filter is good and the filter can take more amount of oxygen, and the petrol and diesel can combine with the oxygen. There is no incomplete combustion of petrol and diesel. But when the vehicle undergoes minimum 50,000 kilometers or 1 lakh kilometers, you can see here, when your vehicle has lack of maintenance, there is a lack of maintenance and the vehicle undergoes aging. For example, you are using only IC engine for 10 years. What will happen? You will not die. The person who is coming at the back of you will die. Why? Because so after every 1 year you will not change air filters. If you are not changing air filter, total complete air will not come into the complete air will not be available to the vehicle, and the petrol and diesel will not be completely burned. If it is not completely burned, what will happen? Mileage will fall down, and you will not take care about the mileage or service. Just you think I buy the vehicle, just have to put petrol and just drive. You don't think about the public. Okay, so you require regular maintenance. If you don't maintain regular maintenance, if you don't changing this filter, I think you know a filter will be there in IC engine. If you're not changing the filter, it cannot suck more amount of oxygen. If it's not sucking more amount of oxygen, automatically your petrol or diesel are undergoing what? Incomplete combustion. A new IC engine will not create carbon monoxide. The vehicles which are aged, and we can't suggest that all the vehicles should be a new vehicle. No, it's not at all possible. So in the society we have poor people and rich people. Some may be using new vehicle, some may be using electric vehicle, some may be still using Chatak still. Some may be still using TVS 50 in this generation also. So we can't say them you change your vehicle. Why? Because due to you we are dying. If you say that due to you we are dying, they will change the vehicle, not possible. So you have to be more practical. So what you can do better is, we have to give some subsidy and you have to transform their life from IC engine to electric vehicle. You have to indirectly educate them. So incomplete combustion of our petrol and diesel will lead to, this incomplete combustion of petrol and diesel in the lack of oxygen. Why the oxygen is lagging? Due to improper change of filters. So you may ask, sir, if you change filters and if you change gear oil and engine oil, all the problems are solved. No, why you are not changing? So for every service, we have to invest minimum 500 rupees. For every 2000 kilometers, if you want to run an IC engine, you have to invest how many rupees? 500 to 600 rupees or minimum 1000 rupees. Who will invest for 2000 rupees, 2000 kilometers, 1000 rupees? No one. So they think that we have petrol, if you fill with petrol tank, automatically the vehicle is running, that's sufficient. We don't want to take care about how much pollutants are released, how many carbon monoxide is released, how much nitrogen oxide are released. This is related with what? Pollution. So that's why what government will do, every month you have to take pollution check. So at the output of the tailpipe, they'll keep one sensor. That sensor will give what is the magnitude of nitrogen oxide, what is the magnitude of carbon monoxide your vehicle is producing. Based on that amount they are producing, you have to pay the penalty. That's called pollution certificate. That's why the RTO office asks you, where is the pollution certificate? So for the pollution what you are creating on the environment, you have to pay some money to the government. So the money what you pay as a penalty or fine or for that license, they will plant more trees. Then automatically the problems can be solved some major level. This is all about the incomplete combustion in the lack of oxygen will give the development of carbon monoxide. And if you breathe this carbon monoxide, if you take the old electric vehicle, Chatak is there or TVS 50 is there, it is giving black ash. And if you are traveling at the back of it, definitely you will inhale it. It definitely you will have some sort of cancer disease in soon. So that's very dangerous to breathe. Sir, what will happen? Why it is very dangerous? But the concept is, we have blood. Okay, so we have the blood. In the blood, what is there? Red blood cells are there. So this is an red blood cell. In this red blood cell, we are going to have our molecules like this, and this blood has to combine with what? Oxygen. Whenever the blood combines with oxygen, the blood can easily flow and it can supply the required amount of oxygen to all the organs. But when you inhale this carbon monoxide through your nose, it will directly go to the lungs, and this carbon monoxide will be replaced the position of oxygen. The carbon monoxide will attract the blood, and the blood and carbon monoxide will try to make a good bond. So if carbon monoxide is combined with the blood molecules, automatically what happens is the availability of oxygen in the blood decreases. When the availability of oxygen decreases in the blood, it will create a first problem which is called dizziness, which is called as dizziness. Or what is meant by dizziness? So when you travel at the back of an electric vehicle which is providing more amount of pollution like black ash, so first symptom what you are going to get is headache. So when you make a long journey around 1 hour, 2 hours in cities, especially without any mask, okay, then you will be subjected to first disease which is called dizziness. Why? Because your oxygen, the oxygen which are bonded with blood has been replaced with carbon monoxide. Why you are inhaling from the tailpipe? At the output of the vehicle you are inhaling it, automatically first you will get headache. Slowly this headache will try to lead more amount of carbon monoxide availability inside the blood. If more amount of carbon monoxide is mixed with the blood, it may lead to cancer or it may lead to death also. So that's why in cities everyone wear some safety masks or they use some sort of cloth. So it will act like an filter. All this carbon monoxide will be filtered out and only fresh oxygen will be inhaled. So still in Delhi, we don't have fresh air. So all these are already there in house also. Why? Because it is fully industrialized. They use air purifier. What they use? Air purifiers. In the home also, we can't, how we are happily living here, they can't live there. So all Delhi houses will have air purifier. So all these pollutants will be sucked by the air purifier and they will filter out by using HEPA filter, and they give an pure oxygen. To have an happy oxygen also, what you require? Air purifiers. That's what the position in Delhi's and well developed cities like Chennai also. So if you are not doing, what you will get? Headache. Slowly you will be subjected to cancer, and slowly your cancer will lead to death. Next, And main advantage of this carbon monoxide, it has a strong bond with blood. So it is how oxygen has a good bond with blood, carbon monoxide has more attractive bond. So once carbon monoxide fixes with the blood, we cannot separate it. Are you able to understand? When carbon monoxide goes into your blood, you cannot separate it. Definitely you should remove your complete blood, or you should need to undergo an surgery or some sort of operation in a pressurized chamber. We have to remove your blood. From your blood we have to separate carbon monoxide and your blood. After separating, you should inject your blood once again to your body. This is a very risky process. Okay, so that's why the people will die when they are subjected to this sort of inhaling of carbon monoxide. All these problems are created by whom? Created by whom? IC engine, and not by a new IC engine. Those who regularly maintain, those people with half knowledge, they'll think about what? Why I have to invest on filter change? Why I have to invest on what is that engine oil change? Why I have to invest on different filters? It's an extra burden for me. So those who think like that, they don't invest. If they're not investing, who is going to have an deputed life? The people, those who inhale that. So he will be sitting at the front and he will drive. He will not get any pollution. The person who is traveling at the back of him, definitely he has to inhale. Definitely he will be subjected to this dizziness. So when you get mild headache, when you travel in the traffic, you understand that you have been subjected to carbon monoxide has went into your blood. How to clean it? There's no process to clean it. We have to go with an pressurized, all the blood has to be removed and it has to be sent some sort of pressure to it and we can separate it. There's no chance. Why? Because no, carbon monoxide has a strong bond, right? But what actually bond should be there? With oxygen, bond should be there. Oxygen can easily come out and it can, carbon monoxide can easily attract this blood molecules and it can easily penetrate into the blood. Okay, so that is what the main problem. So this is all about carbon monoxide. Okay, next one. So we have been discussed about how the mechanical energy is developed by the IC engine, how carbon dioxide can be overcome by using plantation, how nitrogen oxide is influencing us, how nitrogen dioxide and nitric acid and carbon dioxide. Next one is unburned hydrocarbons. What is this unburned hydrocarbons? Unburned hydrocarbons are also due to the incomplete combustion of petrol and diesel. If you are not burning this petrol and diesel in a proper combustion, for example, if you take a new bike, the filter is good and everything is in perfect condition, it can take 100% of oxygen and it can easily burn. If it is completely burned, there is no concept of carbon monoxide, there is no concept of nitrogen oxide. Why? Because it is completely burned. Completely burned petrol doesn't has any pollution. If it is half burned, that half burned is called incomplete combustion, or this is called unburned. The name itself you see here is completely burned or unburned. Unburned. Why it is unburned? Due to lack of filter changes. If you are not changing the filter, so automatically it will obstruct the flow of availability of oxygen. It will not be burned 100%. Only 60 to 70% only will burn. That's why the mileage also will fall down. So due to these unburned hydrocarbons, nitrogen oxide is available in the air. So in the air, what is there? Nitrogen dioxide. When sunlight falls on this nitrogen oxide, it gets divided into N2 and O molecule. N2 and O molecule. So you have one oxygen molecule. This oxygen molecule, I think the equation is balanced here. N is one molecule, O plus O, O2. So oxygen molecule is also balanced. So this single oxygen atom will undergo once again with what? Oxidation. Will try to give a gas which is called ozone gas. This ozone gas is colorless but very dangerous. Why a nitrogen oxide is developed? Due to incomplete combustion. If you are not properly changing the filter, it will automatically develop what? Nitrogen dioxide. You see here how nitrogen dioxide is developed. First source is nitrogen oxide. Basically what is released into the air? Nitrogen is released. That's how it is creating an issue. The kids 1 to 5 years, the aged people 60 to 100, if they inhale this ozone, definitely they may be subjected to death. So due to all these all these are what? Environmental effects and how the environment is getting polluted. If the environment is getting polluted, what we are going to do? We are going to inhale all these things. You can see the side effects for all this carbon monoxide. What is the resultant? Death. Due to this unburned hydrocarbons, what is the ultimate? Death. So if you inhale this all the pollutants, what you get from internal combustion engines, definitely the resultant solution is death. What is the solution for this? Don't use IC engine. Don't use the fossil fuels like petrol and diesel. If you are interested to use, you try to have proper filter changes, proper oil changes, and this also not recommended. Okay, if you change it, the percentage of this carbon monoxide is minimum, but if you don't change it, automatically this is maximum. Okay, that's why this plays a major role. So that is the importance of social and environmental importance of electric vehicle. So from this, what is the conclusion? We had seen how this carbon monoxide is influencing us. We had seen how this unburned hydrocarbons. We had seen how this nitrogen oxide is influencing. You see this ultimate, what's happening? What we are living, where we are living, acid rains are there. Ultimately, we are going to die with cancer. Ultimately, due to this sunburn, we are going to die with the cancer. What is the output of this theme, or what is the output of this topic? We are not supposed to use IC engine. It is recommendable to use electric vehicle. So that's how we are creating an awareness to whom? Society. That is called related with society. Societal importance of electric vehicle. Next one, environmental impacts. Okay, so we are paying some challan to take this pollution check. Why we are taking? We are polluting the environment. That's why we are paying the penalty. That penalty will be used to plant more trees. Then automatically the availability of nitrogen oxide and carbon monoxide will be minimized. Okay, so we'll continue with the remaining pollutants, which will also lead to the death. Let's try to continue with that topic in the next session.